What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about DigiByte today. This one comes to us at the request of Mr. Robert or Roger Vanderslam. What was it? Robert Vanderslam. We're talking about this one for you, my man. I've got it pulled up here on the Bittrex chart because it has the most historical data that I could find for this thing. You know, the volume readings, being that it's on Bittrex, it might not be the most accurate or the most I would say accurate probably. You know, it's a very small exchange, Bittrex is, but all in all, you know, we're probably not going to look at the volume and more just look at the price action. Robert, I think it is Robert. You wanted to know if my price prediction, if my analysis still holds true from the last video I made. In the last video I made, I believe it was like DigiByte to $1.5 or something like that, right, is what I said. I know in that video I was definitely talking about it going lower, and I was talking about the possibility of it going up to $1 and whatever. What was it that I said? Let's see. DigiByte prediction $1.5. Whoa. You know, that's just the clickbaity title. But the reason why I said that was, yeah, if you're looking at this, right, from top to bottom, the current low, the 1618 extension is all the way up at $1.5, and that's totally possible to achieve. It definitely is. If we look at this, actually, DGB, and I'll go over why I think that's possible. But right now, it's at $106 million with an M from the current price. If we were to go all the way up to there, that would be a 222x. A 200x from here, well, let's just do a 100x for my head's sake. That would be 10 billion, 200x would be 20 billion, and a 222x would be like 24, 25, 28, 26 billion, whatever, something like that, give or take. So let's say $25 billion. $25 billion is an absolutely achievable market cap. So could this thing go to $1.50? Sure. Lay that in with the fact that DigiByte technically had a higher high in its last cycle top. It's had nothing but higher lows throughout its whole existence. It's been around since 2014. It is definitely an OG coin, and it's not the most relevant. This is where I would think, you know, and I'm going to get into like the actual analysis instead of just talking so much really soon here, and just validate that like my analysis is probably the same. You know, I didn't watch the video, but I'm just going to do like a fresh analysis today. You can compare it if you want, but I would bet it's going to be more or less the same. But the idea that a coin like this, an OG coin from 2014 that has maintained some sort of relevance, I feel like it's lost its relevance, but overall it has, you know, had higher lows each bear cycle. It's been through 1, 2, 3 bear cycles now. It's been through 1, 2 bull cycles, potentially on its third. That's more than most cryptos can say. And the cryptos that can say that they've been through multiple cycles, they don't look like this. They look like this, but to the downside, right? Or even more dramatic to the downside. They don't look like this, man. So this is a nice looking chart. It really is for what it is. You know, I didn't expect to see this on DGB. I know that whenever I was looking it up in some of my earlier videos, I went to crypto here and it wouldn't show me all the historical data that I wanted to see. But this overall, I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed with. It's not too impressive of a chart, to be fair, but just for crypto, for something like DigiByte, which I thought was just forgotten about, it's actually held up kind of well compared to a lot of cryptos. But anyways, let's get into the actual TA of things. I do think that it's going lower. I know I would have said that in my last video, you know, so I don't know what it is you're referring to as far as like what if my analysis now would agree with that then. What was your question? Do you still stand by this analysis? You know, whether I stand by it or not, I would assume that I do, because I know that in that analysis I said it's going to go lower, and then we could talk about it going higher. Now, personally, what do I expect for DigiByte out of this bull market? You know, I kind of have a theory, you guys, before I'm really about to get into the analysis, I swear, but I have a theory about this coming bull cycle, right? In 2017, 2018, when we had the altcoin craze, it was ICOs, right? And ICOs are nothing really special at all, but it was just the ICO craze. And then in the next bull cycle, we had the what was it? What am I thinking of? Metaverse coins, meme coins, right? Like Dogecoin blew up, but like it was like a meme coin craze. We had Dogecoin, all kinds of Dogecoin spinoffs, Shiba spinoffs too. random, just like little animal spin-offs, whatever. We had a meme craze. We had a metaverse craze. We had DeFi summer, right? We had layer twos. Like there's a season. There was a time when it was exchange coins, right? Like Binance or Uniswap token or KuCoin's coin. Like there's like a season for certain types of cryptos, right? And I have a theory that the main theme of this coming bull cycle, it's going to be OG season. OG season. And this thing is an OG. Digibyte is an OG for sure. I think that there are going to be a lot of coins. And when I say OG season, I don't mean every OG coin. I mean coins that have more or less a somewhat bullish, not an absolute dissolute, whatever the word is, horrible looking chart after being through multiple cycles. And I wouldn't say that this chart is horrible looking by any means. It's not like the most impressive chart, but it's really not bad. It's impressive in the sense that, again, that it doesn't look bad. Most cryptos with this longevity have not held up this well, that's for sure. So with all that in mind, I do think that it's possible that this thing could see new all-time highs by the end of this cycle, which would be in 2025 probably, right? From the current low, the minimum expectation would be 45 cents. The maximum expectation would be around $1.50. And I say maximum expectation, that does not mean that it can't go higher. It could go higher. Minimum expectation doesn't mean it has to hit there. It might hit lower. It might even do a lower high. But if you are to see new highs, this is the expected zone. This is your like expected fib extensions, the 1272, 1414, and the 1618, somewhere in this range. And people, you do find support or resistance at the 1414. It's common enough, but I generally talk about the 1272 and the 1618 more because I find more significance on those than I do the 1414. But often enough, you do see significance on the 1414. So it is worth mentioning as well. 73 cents is completely possible as well. But before then, I do think we're going to go lower. Looking at this on the monthly, it's kind of hard to see, but if we look at this thing on the weekly, zoom in a little bit, you have this like almost like a flat base, right? I think it is a flat base actually. Yeah, it's just kind of getting disrespected right now. You had a nice bounce off at once, kind of a nice bounce, right? And then a less nice bounce, and now you're just grinding it. You've come to a flat slide. This kind of look overall is never a good thing. In fact, the move that precedes this is generally dramatic to the downside. If it was inverse, if this was to the upside and we had like ascending kind of trend line, it would be a pop to the upside. Perfect example of this, I was talking about another coin recently, but Bitcoin has a perfect example of this. We can see it right here. Flat base, descending highs. You started to hug it. You went from bouncing off it, having a miraculous bounce, to a less miraculous bounce, even less miraculous bounce, to just a straight slide. And the move that preceded it was exactly what I was just talking about, which is you just dropped ass, man. The floor gave out, quite literally. So going back to Digibyte now, I do think that this thing is going to go lower. If we had a measure move for the price target, technically, that would be somewhere around 0.27 cents. That's $0.00272, somewhere around there. If we took this low to this high, the 1618 extension is down at 0.00375. It's a little bit higher, but still lower than where we are now. 1272 is at about half of a cent. And you could, with this small of kind of a range, you could very well see deeper extensions come into play. Again, the measure move is down at like 0.00272 or something like that. But that's the measure move. That doesn't mean that it needs to happen. That's just kind of like the ideal situation. It can go further than that. It can drop lower than that. It doesn't have to drop that low either way. Looking at the RSI on this thing, man, weak as hell. I am not impressed by this weekly RSI. I'm impressed that you've managed to stay this weak for so long without showing any life. And you've had all the opportunities to. You didn't even go that much into your oversold zone. You bounced off it pretty well. But you couldn't get into your bullish area of control. You couldn't maintain it into the bullish area of control. Couldn't even get to your overbought zone. Definitely weak looking. You spent most of your time below the 50. I would even say you spent most of your time like below the 40, like truthfully. Or at least half it. That's over the course of like 2 years, 2.5 years. Very weak, very bad, not a good look at all. Yeah. to be fair, you are overdue for some overbought action. You'll probably see that in the coming bull cycle, but will that bring you to new highs? That's the debate, right? That is the debate. But oh man, I forgot to mention this before we continue. You know, when I was talking about the bullish stuff from top to bottom here, these extensions are from the current low. If we do drop ass like I'm expecting, notice how those extensions, they only move higher, because overall the retracement from top to bottom is bigger, so the extensions are going to go up more. You know, it's just math. That's just how it is. So if this is the low, if we turn around from here, okay, then that's where it is. But as this probably goes lower, those numbers are only going to get higher. So the idea of $1.50, the potential for $2.50 might even be there if we go to like that 0.002726 area. You know, something like that. Above $2 is totally possible too. But it just depends on how low we go to like anchor where these extensions are going to be. I don't think that we found that yet, but I think we've looked enough at the weekly. I want to look at the daily real quick. Yeah, the daily doesn't look too hot either. Man, the one time you got overbought in the last, man, like since January, you've been overbought one time, and it was back here in the beginning of July. And it was on this screen. You see how the candle went up higher here? That's not the close, that's the open. So here's the close. The high itself closed here, and this is actually a lower high than this over here. On your overbought, you had hidden bearish divergence, and you were meeting this 123 line as resistance. Very, very weak looking RSI. Very, very weak looking, man. You've been moving up this whole time in your RSI while moving down in the price. Not a good look, really not a good look. So I really think that sometime by the end of this year, you'll see resolution to this downside. You might have even found your low by the end of this year. If not, it'll be sometime in the beginning of next year, but soon, within the next month or so. It might even be within the next week or so. We'll probably see this thing just give, and it'll give quickly, man. It'll give very quickly. So all in all, for Robert, I hope I answered your question, man. I hope that this video was pretty on par with the last video. I wasn't trying to just copy. You know, again, I didn't even see the video. I'm just going like roughly off of what I'm seeing here. I mean, I've seen the video. I made the video, but like I didn't watch it before this to like refresh myself or anything. I just kind of went for it. You know, the 886 right here, your deep retracement, it's kind of right in that zone of this measure move. 786 still down here. This is a pretty common area to bounce as well. Yeah, man. I really don't expect that you're going to go lower than this low. If you do, the idea of DigiByte going to new all-time highs, I will say it's gone. It's just gone. No offense, DigiByte, but if it goes lower than this low, it's done. Bye-bye. You will probably have a decent bull rally, right? Only because you dropped so much, right? So then you're probably going to come up here, find a lower high, and then continue to go down from there and into the abyss of nothingness. But I don't know, man. I don't like DigiByte specifically. It's a low enough cap coin. It's an OG coin. It's maintained some relevance, you know, but it's definitely lost some relevance too. I don't know enough about the project. I don't know how motivated and how I don't know how much work is being done on it on a regular basis. You know, I don't know how far they've come, but all in all, I'm not sad about this chart. There's definitely hope for it to do miraculous things in the coming cycle. I mean, from low to top here, you didn't even get that much of a new all-time high, and you still pulled from low to top. You did 116x, which is insane on a coin that's not even that relevant anymore. You know, even if you didn't buy that, you bought like this low up here or something like that. That low there, or on the way up, you still could have had a 13x, which is nothing to be sad about at all. So I definitely think it's going to have a decent bull market. I really don't expect that it's going to go lower than this, but I do think it's going to go lower now. So that's all I got. If you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up. Thumbs ups are always appreciated. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.